What is going on, guys? So today, back at it with another video. What we're going to be doing is getting rid of all these rock chips and damage to the door. I'm going to be doing the Raptor liner bed liner. I'm going to be rolling it on the rocker panels. So I went with the Raptor black liner, not the tintable stuff. I think the flat black's going to look pretty sharp, especially with having the flat black Silverado letters, and then I'm planning on also bed lining the steps as well. So there's going to be a lot of flat black on the truck, so I think it's going to go well. I bought 2 of them, and then it comes with a hardener for each bottle. You should only need 1 hardener for both the bottles. If you haven't seen Raptor liner before, it has this indent in the bottle, and that's where you fill the hardener to. So the liner is like somewhere like around here, and then you just fill up to there with hardener and just shake it from there. I'm going to be rolling it on like I said. So I have my paint tray here with the liner, and I have the foam. Very smooth. The smooth surfaces is what I'm looking for. I'm trying to get as smooth as possible. I don't want a super textured look on there. And then I went with a big one, which I'll explain later why. 180 grit, I was talking to the Raptor techs, and 180 grit is what is recommended for the Raptor liner to grab onto. So I'll be sanding everything in 180. I also have, like I said, there's some spots, they're starting to rust because of being bare metal to the weather in Iowa. And then this as well is going on. So I'm going to be hitting this with a tiger paw and getting that down to bare metal. So I have this. Anytime you have bare metal, you're going to need self-etching primer. You don't need the Upol. Upol makes, which is the company that makes Raptor liner if you don't know, they also make clear coat, primer, all that stuff. Just a regular, I talked to them as well, just a regular Rust-Oleum self-etching primer will work. Need some masking tape. I'm going to be using a tape measure because I want this side of the truck to match height-wise the other side of the truck. And this side has more rock chips and damage than the other side, so I'm going to be using this side as my reference line for the other side. Some wax and tar remover, which you want to use before and after sanding, and then I like to finish it off with some 91% alcohol and then some shop towels. So I'm going to take the fender flares off so I can get behind them on the front and the rear, so it doesn't stop here. Alright, so flares are off. I'm sitting over there. So next what we're going to do is clean the surface, and then I want to figure out how high I want them to be. So I don't want this to come super high. I'm really just going to go right past where the chipping has occurred. I may even come down a little. Like I said, I don't want this to take up. Some people, you know, they come halfway up the door, and I'm not a big fan of that. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working with this. I won't bore you guys with this, and get back to you when I get it all lined up. Okay, so I got it all taped off. Mine is 7 inches from the bottom of the door, so I got it run all the way back. And then when I took my fender flare off, I discovered I had a couple rust bubbles. Unfortunately, you know, the Chevy rust problem. So I knocked all those off. I'm going to sand those down, and they'll get hit with self-etching primer. And then I just made a somewhat circle. It doesn't matter. I'm never going to take the fender flares off. The fender flares I have, they've actually rubbed, as you can see, there's a perfect circle. They've actually rubbed the paint off. So unless I get the truck repainted, there's no way that I can take the fender flares off. Or I can, it would just look ridiculous with a ring. So I'm just gonna put the Raptor liner around that. It'll help protect it from more rust coming through. Not gonna do it to the front just because there's no rusting going on here, and that would just be a waste of material for right now. If it starts to rust, I'll worry about it when it comes, but again, I have an edge all the way around, so these fender flares are not coming off. Next, I'm going to take the tiger paw and knock off all the rust spots, and then we'll go back and sand the entire area with 180 grit. So we'll check the progress. You can see, so there's still a little bit of rust in here, so I need to sit on these spots a little bit longer. Then I gotta hit this corner as well. Round 2. So she's looking good here as far as getting all the rust, the surface rust off. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hit everything that I'm gonna be painting with the 180 grit. So I just finished sanding it. I still gotta wipe it off. A little word of advice. If you do have rust or whatever and you are sanding down to bare metal and then just roughing up the rest, really hit these edges with the sandpaper so it's a smooth transition. There's no humps in any of this. Because if you are just putting down, I don't know how thin, I've never used this Raptor liner, so I don't know how thin it's gonna go down. So I would hate to, when it dries, you would be able to see this entire circle. And I'm cutting mine off right there, just because I don't want to try and dick with trying to get behind there, and I'm not going to take my rear bumper off and dick with all that. And then underneath here, again, because I don't have mud flaps or anything such like that, this is all beat up and rusty, so I'm going to hit that with the angle grinder and get all that off. And then I'll wipe it down and we should be ready to roll. Okay, so it's all been wiped down. I wiped it down with wax and tar grease remover, and then I wiped it down with alcohol. Preparation is huge. You should be able to, I just put alcohol on this pad. You should be able to go up, wipe a panel, and there should be nothing on it. Should be perfectly clean. So that's going to ensure a proper stick. Okay, so I had to charge the battery a little bit, so I went ahead and threw the masking tape on, where I'm going to be spraying the self-etching primer. If you don't have any bare metal, if your paint was good or you know, wherever you're applying it to, and you didn't have to sand anything down to bare metal, you can go ahead and skip this step. But if you are spraying the self-etching primer, go ahead and mask off where you're going to be spraying. I got to cover this up still. I just realized that was bare. So I'm going to mask that up, and we'll throw the self-etching primer on. We'll go ahead, we'll let all these dry. It hits about 95 degrees today, and super humid, so it's pretty much already dry. So we'll check it, and then we should be ready for the Raptor liner. Alright, so perfectly enough, my camera actually died, so it gave me a chance to do the other side in that time. So mine is, I believe I already mentioned it, but it is 7 inches up from the bottom of the door, all the way down. And then this side already had rust repair done to it. I believe it was the Duplicolor bed liner sprayed here. It's absolute garbage. I do not recommend it whatsoever. So I sanded it, or I grinded it back down to bare metal, and we'll try it again. That's all done. Same as the other side. So now it's time to get started. So there are no directions on the bottles, which, like I mentioned before, you just fill to this indent in the Raptor bottle, so you really don't need instructions. Okay, so we hit the indent. Put the cap back on. Yeah, that's still like over half full. So one will definitely fill 2 of these. So then put the cap back on here, and you're shaking for 2 minutes. Not gonna pour all of it in there. So then, reason why you want to buy the full big tray, a huge thing, obviously, if you've ever used a paint roller before, if you don't fully saturate the roller, when you go to roll it, it sticks, and then you're going to smear it, and you do not want that with the Raptor liner. So what you want to do, get it on here, and then come up here and roll it sideways. Get a little more, and roll sideways. You want to fully saturate the sponge before you go over and roll it on your vehicle. Okay, so that's the first coat for this side. Show you what it's looking like here. Very, very smooth texture. This is a, like I said, very smooth to smooth surface roller. You can obviously get a little more rougher one. All right, so driver's side is all done. So the flashing period, which flashing means just how long it basically takes to dry until you can put a second coat on, is an hour, you know, based on humidity and whatnot. I'll probably wait, like I said, it's about 95-ish out today with very high humidity, so I'll probably wait about a half hour or so. That was only half of that bottle, and there's still some in the pan, and that did both sides of my rocker panels, so I kind of wish I would only bought one, but it won't go to waste. I'll save the second bottle because I'm still contemplating bed lining the fender flares as well, so then it would all kind of flow. Alright, so it's been about 35 minutes, so if I come up here, oops, come up here, I can touch all this and nothing comes on my fingers. All right, finished product. See, it looks really good. The flat black letters and the flat black there. And then I cut it here, which I personally like. It would have been, the roller would have never fit behind the bumper, and I wasn't gonna take the bumper off. I ran into the issue here. I don't know if you can see it, but I sanded back here, not thinking about the thickness of the roller. It smeared back here, but you're not gonna see back there. You can barely see it on camera. I got up to here rough, and then the roller just stuck. So that is the video, guys, on how to use the Raptor liner for anything, rocker panels, the back of the bed, whatever. There is still some left in that first bottle, and then I didn't end up even using all that was in the pan. So 2 coats, rear wheel wells, entire rocker panels all the way back on an 2010 extended cab Silverado with a 6.5 foot bed. Used about I would say 90% of 1 bottle. So if you have not ordered yet and this is what you're planning on doing, you're only gonna need 1. But yeah, smash that like button if you liked the video, subscribe for more to come. Until next time, peace.